Good morning. What a loss.
This is still some surprise news to wake up to this morning.
I mean, obviously she's been in failing health for a long time, but the idea that this was imminent and this was going to happen today is very surprising and very sad. You know, there's been so much attention in recent years and recent months about her failing health that you sort of forget to talk about the extraordinary giant of American politics that Dianne Feinstein has been. You think of her as the first woman to be on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, first female mayor of San Francisco, first female senator from California, and a very respected, very important figure in the United States Senate.
Longest standing. 30 years.
And, you know, the legacy that she leaves is one of great service. And also sort of, as I think Doug was talking about this a little bit, of a different era.
Sure.
An era of bipartisanship, an era where you work together. She, in some ways, has been criticized by some on the left in recent years because she wasn't more of a liberal firebrand. She was willing to work with people, but that's how you get things done in the Senate. And she has been an old school senator who's been very effective at achieving results for California for a long time.
Yeah, and her work on the Senate Judiciary Committee, she's leaving quite the legacy behind there as well.
Well, and then the big question is going to be the Senate Judiciary Committee going forward.
Right.
You know, part of the reason why it was so important for her to come back from her illness and stay there was that Republicans had signaled that they would not put a Democratic replacement to her on the Senate Judiciary Committee. The Senate Judiciary Committee is how Democrats confirm judges. It's been one of the most important things that Democrats can do now in this divided Congress because you only need 50 votes to do that. If they don't allow a Democrat to be on the Senate Judiciary Committee, her death could mean basically a complete stalling of Biden's judges, which could make a huge impact in terms of the rest of the country, cases, etc. We don't know what will happen. Will the Republicans show some deference to her and some respect for the institution, or will they, you know, make a partisan play, which would be very beneficial for their cause?
When you look, especially in a moment like this, you know, you look back at someone's life and you reflect upon their highlights and their contributions. You spent time with her, interviewing her.
Sure.
What would you say, Elex, would be some of those things?
Well, she was a very serious person who took the job very seriously, but she could also be fun. There was one moment that I'll never forget of Dianne Feinstein that just makes me laugh. So I sweat a lot. I don't know about you guys. I'm a sweater.
I'm a big sweater too, yeah.
And so we were in Washington for Trump's inauguration. It was very, very cold outside. We were supposed to do the interview outside, so I'm wearing like 6, 7 layers because I also get very cold. They moved it inside at the very last second. We go into Dianne Feinstein's office, which was very warm. And I am just, you know, I mean, it's just coming.
With the layers, sweating bullets.
Thing.
Yeah.
And it's like almost Shamu splash zone, you know. And she stops the interview. And I said, I'm sorry. She's like, it's not okay. And then she pulls me with her hand into her private office and starts patting me down.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, my Jewish grandmother is no longer with us, but thank you for stepping in. And you saw this, like, kind side of her, that she is a mom and a grandmother. And we went out there and she said, I told you I'd give you an interview you'll never forget.
That's right.
She made sure to take care of me. But it's, I think, those sort of little things that's probably emblematic of her character, of how she went through life on a lot of things that, you know, created you know, so many different allies over so many years of service.
So what happens now?
So it will be up to the governor of California, who has the sole ability to appoint a replacement. He has said that he's going to appoint a black woman into that job. Barbara Lee, who is running for the Senate seat, would like to be appointed. He said recently in an interview that he will not appoint anybody who's running, which Barbara Lee was very, very frustrated with, and some of her allies were frustrated with as well, but he doubled down on that. And so now the governor will have to pick somebody. Some potential people that have been thought about is Shirley Weber, who he appointed to be Secretary of State, maybe London Breed, the mayor of San Francisco. There may be other names that come up, but that job, you know, that person will only be in that job for, you know, basically a year. But getting that person in there is important because the Democrats have such a small majority. You know, with Feinstein, they had 51. Now it's down to 50. It's very important in terms of the Senate business to have somebody there. I would imagine the governor will give a little bit of time, but not too much time because the Democrats need her vote.
Yeah. And so later on this morning, you're headed to Anaheim. A lot of California politicians are going to be there. I'm sure they're going to have a lot to say.
Yeah, it's going to be a very strange day. So today is the California Republican Convention, which has been planned for years. Donald Trump is supposed to be there and speak there. Ron DeSantis, Tim Scott, all supposed to speak. We'll see what Donald Trump says about Dianne Feinstein, how this changes the day. All the state's top journalists are going to be there, so we'll be doing live coverage throughout the day here on Good Day LA, try to weigh in more from there and talk to some folks as well, and then try to reach out to all the folks that knew her so well and see what we can do in terms of that as well. But I can imagine it's just a day of profound loss and hopefully a day to honor her legacy, which is quite extraordinary and not focus so much on all the politics.
Right, yeah, let's not forget that. Yeah. Absolutely. Elex, thank you so much for your insight and for hustling into the studio.
We'll see you soon in Anaheim.
Yes, sir.
All right. For sure. Thank you.